Welcome to our Spring Cleaning Your Pantry video blog. Today we're going to talk about organizing your pantry and why it's going to be important. First off, your meal planning is going to be much more successful when you actually know the ingredients that we have in our pantry. So if this thing is a cluttered mess, I'm not going to be inspired to cook and I'm not going to know what I have to cook with. So make your meal planning more successful and just know what you've got in your pantry. If you buy something a long time ago, it gets shoved to a back shelf and then you find it like 2 years later, chances are good you're going to throw it out because it's not going to be great. So keeping organized is going to be helpful to prevent food waste, but also to save you money. So both great things. When you think about how much you want to be organized or how to organize, don't panic if you are not a Martha Stewart type. I for sure am not. I just employed a helpful friend, my good friend Coffee, to make this task a little bit more enjoyable for me. As you can see, I've organized my pantry based on a couple different food ingredients here in food categories. Up top, I've got some of my grains and starches. These are my go-tos for my dinners and my suppers to be able just to help me create that balance in a really healthy way. So I've got some quinoa up here, I've got some ramen rice noodles, I've got some lentils, just a bunch of different things. Secondly, I've got my breakfast items. So help me build a balanced breakfast. I've got some of my shelf-stable stuff that I can implement for that. Thirdly, I've got my creative shelf, as I call it. So I've got my spices, I've got my oils, my vinegars, the things that can really help my cooking ability, which is not great. As you can see, I've employed a couple dollar store bins. Got my spices here. Instead of being cluttered and all over, I've really got them organized nicely in here. I've also found some leftover tins that I wasn't using for anything else. So I just put some of my canned items in here. Again, quick, simple things that I already had on hand or that I had to pick up really quickly. Another thing that I find very, very helpful is my pantry inventory list. So I created a quick little list of items that I like to keep on hand. So I've got my grains and my starches, I've got my protein, I've got my baking items, my canned goods, things that I know is going to be important for me to have. And I've got them all just ready to go here for me. So when I go grocery shopping, I can just grab this. You may want to consider some of the items that you keep out on the shelf. Things like your nuts and your seeds. These have a high oil content. And so things like your walnuts or your almonds, these will go rancid if left out and at room temperature. So consider throwing these guys in the freezer for your storage if you don't get through them very quickly. What's going to be important here is organizing it based on what works for your family and how you feel creative in the kitchen. So I hope you've enjoyed this blog. I hope you've got some good tips from it, and good luck with your organizing.